My name is Maude Stephany, Artivist at Large of Trans Archivist Project. Today we're talking about mining the past and dreaming the future through artivism. You're probably wondering, what is this artivism thing I'm talking about? The simple answer is that artivism is the practice of using art to activate, that is, to energize and or engage an individual and or community around a theme, problem, or issue. We create activations by, with, and for our community, primarily trans spectrum folks, around a central theme. We often go into our activations with a central question in mind. However, we always leave room for those who join us to direct and take us elsewhere. A lot of preparation goes into choosing a space to hold our activation. We always look to remove as many barriers as possible for potential participants. We cover the cost of the activation so that low-income folks can attend. We ensure that all spaces are accessible for anyone with any physical disability. We do our best to prepare for those who might be triggered by our work. We make sure our invitations clearly state that BIPOC individuals are welcome and in fact prioritize. And we make sure that as we begin our activation, we create a safe space through creating group rules for engagement. Next, we engage in free-form movement. Our practice is based on somatic principles and is degendered by the use of non-gender specific terms for the body. Through movement, we find that we're able to recenter ourselves in our body as individuals and as a group. In so doing, we break out of preconceived notions of how we should act, which frees us to move into the next part of our activation. Secure in our sense of self, we begin to take part in a form of storytelling using improvisation. When most people hear us say improvisation, they think, whose line is it anyway? And lots of jokes and laughter. However, improvisation is so much more. Using improvisation gives us the opportunity to respond to the offers that we are given in the storytelling process. Through this type of interaction, we're able to tell stories in ways that are both close to us and distant enough to make it easier for us to tell tough stories. We dig into our past and unearth the pains and joys of our life through improvisation stories. We tell tales of our present using other improv games and unearth what is happening now. Then we move to ask the final question before we begin our activation through some artistic practice like painting or drawing. We ask, what kind of story do you want to tell? What kind of future do you imagine for yourself and for your community? Then we collectively dream, using improvisation tools, and create a new story together. The first time we did this was at Pride Halden in Norfolk in 2022. It was a beautiful sunny day. A variety of queer trans folk were taking part in the Pride celebration. As people approached our tent, we asked them if they would like to show us what a queer-friendly future would look like. Adults, children, youth, and elderly folks stayed, talked, painted, and drew. As they did, some of them spoke of their experiences that made them write things like, protect trans kids, while others drew on their past to envision what a wonderful world we could have together. In both cases, these paintings were an activation for the individual and the community. Participants in this program let us know how much they loved the work they had done, and after the event, the artwork stayed with the community and was displayed in the local libraries. This allowed the activation to continue to create dialogue in the community as it sparked discussion wherever it went. In October 2022, we ran this activation at the Guelph Civic Museum with a group of 12 trans-spectrum individuals. Following the format that we described, participants took part in the storytelling process and then created these images used during our activation. In November 2022, during the Fourth Friday activation at the Guelph Civic Museum, which included Transtar, a trans alternative pop artist, in honor of Trans Day of Remembrance, Our art was turned into this poster, which was displayed so that visitors could interact with what the trans spectrum community imagined as a queer-friendly future. Once again, our activation went beyond a simple workshop, and not only the participants, but the wider community were impacted. So now we ask you to join us as we consider our past, examine our present, and continue to ask the question, what will our future look like? Let's dream it together.